Galloway's Wow Wednesday, RNIB PenFriend.
Welcome to this afternoon's Wow Wednesday session. We're very lucky to be joined by David from RNIB again, and this afternoon he's going to be demonstrating the PenFriend. So we're going to allow David to go through all the features of the product, and then there'll be a quick opportunity for some questions at the end. Anything that can't be answered today, we will be able to email David, get those answers for you and come back to you. Thank you very much, David, and over to you.
Lovely. Oh, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to speak to you guys. Yeah, I've been asked to demonstrate the RNIB PenFriend 3. It's one of our top-selling products. It's been around now for 12 years. It became the PenFriend 3 about, it must be 2 years ago now, when we launched it as an upgrade from the PenFriend 2. What is it? Well, it's essentially a labeling pen. That's its main feature. It allows you to record labels for a huge range of items around the house. So if I was to open the box and bring the PenFriend out, like you said, it might be an idea to put this white screen there so that adds a bit of contrast. So for anybody who can't see what I'm holding up, the PenFriend's about 4 inches long. It's a black color. It's like a thin tube kind of shape, which is tapered, gets slightly narrower to the bottom. It has 4 buttons on there, 4 bright yellow buttons, so it's easier to see. The buttons, all right, let me just move across there. The 4 buttons that are on there are power at the top, which is just simply on or off. Underneath this, it has a R for record, which is the main feature, which I'll show you soon. It has a volume setting. There are 3 volume settings, I believe. You can press it and it changes. The volume setting just cycles through them, and then underneath the final button, the 4th button, is the mode button, and that allows you to cycle between the different features of the PenFriend. I'll go through the different mode options towards the end. I would say that the main feature of this pen is it's a labeling pen. That's the main feature it does. It helps you create useful items, labels around the house for a variety of things. I'm sorry, just to continue the what it looks like. On the side of the pen, which I think you can hopefully see on the screen there, it has 2 additional ports, if you like. The top port is circular, and that's for your headphones. The port next to that is the USB mini port, which allows you to complete the device to the computer. It doesn't actually come with a cable. You would need to buy your own cable. I believe it's a male A cable to USB mini, should people want to do that. I'll explain briefly what the reasons why you may wish to do that are later on. It's obviously linked to the modes and been able to save the different labels in a backed up manner. So what do you get when you open up the pack? What comes with it? Firstly, you get a little card which has the audio instructions for using your PenFriend. You can hover the PenFriend over. I'll turn the PenFriend on by hovering it. It brings a red light when you turn it on, and it will allow you to work it out. So if Hillary doesn't know how to work everything and she can't understand my Geordieism or the fact that I speak too fast, you can use your pen and hover over it. For example, if we hover over the record section, I'll not read through it. I'll stop that. So because it will probably go on for about 60 seconds and use up quite a lot of our time. But it will give you general information: power, record, volume, mode, saving files, download, and batteries. So it is quite useful to listen to it in your own space and time. And you can go through that as often as you like. It also comes with a pack of labels. We have some coloured labels with this. The colours are yellow and orange. These are the small circular ones. It also comes with some square ones. Again, these are the coloured ones, which are yellow and orange. You get a lanyard in the pack if you want to hang it on the top of the PenFriend, on the lanyard. There's a little section where you can clip it onto, if you can see on the hole there. Other things that you get in the pack which are quite cool, you get a key fob. Now this key fob has 4 recordable sections on there, so you could put that on your key ring, and you could use it perhaps as a shopping list. You could put your shopping list on there if you couldn't read it. So you could maybe put directions on there, addresses if you're going to various different places. You can make your own labels, make creative things. I'll perhaps try and show you later, but I think that's quite a nice thing to be included with it. It also has a selection of magnetic labels. They're quite thin. Again, the coloured orange and yellow ones, and you can quite clearly click this onto magnetic items, such as tins or perhaps some things that you put in the freezer. In terms of the actual set, it's 127 labels, which are a mixed size and shape of orange and yellow. You get 10 of the magnetic labels. The device is battery operated. It comes pre-inserted with 2 AAA batteries. If you need to change the batteries, there's a section on the back you can just click open, and it's relatively easy to fix, depending on your abilities, of course. The other thing that I'll talk about briefly are the additional label packs. I have one in my hand here. This is labeling pack A. When I open up, these are all white labels. And within there, you get a selection of small circular ones. You get 273 of these, in fact. They are 1.3 centimeters in diameter, the circular labels, the small circular ones. There are some bigger circles, which are 3.2 there, sorry. 3.2 centimeter diameter. I'm holding up to the screen there. You get 54 of those. And then we also have the square ones, which again, you get 54 of, so it makes a total of 381. For the labels, in terms of the white labels that we do, there are 9 packs, which are labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. There's no I, and then J. So you can have, if you add that up, 381 times 9, we're talking nearly 3,500 different labels with packs. That's the white labels. So it's quite a lot. One of the questions I had put to me was, if I bought 2 pack A's, for example, and I'd recorded on one label something, and then I started using the pack again, it would remember the latest message that you recorded on both labels. Essentially how it works, it's just got a little identifying chip in there. So when the PenFriend hovers over it, it recognizes the number. You can split these bigger ones up into sections, potentially record something. Maybe you had 4 tins of baked beans, maybe not the greatest example, but you could slice it in 4. It's always a good idea to try and reuse labels, I think, when you can. An idea might be to, rather than stick the label directly onto the object, maybe stick it onto a bit of cardboard and then put a bit of blue tack on the bit of cardboard and stick that on. That could be a good idea to get some. You could laminate them. I mean, I haven't personally got a laminating machine, but I do have a roll of sellotape, and I could stick some sellotape over the top of it. You could certainly record with or without sellotape, or with or without laminating. It wouldn't stop you from recording. But I think being able to reuse the labels is always useful. In terms of operating, it's still turned on. I turned it on. It will turn itself off automatically after 10 minutes. So if I want to record a label, the first thing that I would do is I would hold the R button down. So I'm going to hold that down, then I'm going to hover it over a label. It's gone beep, you may have heard that, and the color turned purple. So now I'm going to start speaking. You can hear what I'm doing now. When I want to stop the recording, I would just press the R button again, and it goes beep and stops. Now, if we were to hover that over the label, you may have heard that. So now I'm going to start speaking. You can hear what I'm doing now. When I want to stop the recording. Oh, isn't my own voice terrible? You hear when you hear it back. Let's stop that recording. But if I wanted to re-record that label, obviously that would be a complete waste of a label. I would again just hover over the button, hover over the top of it, and it will start recording something else, and it will remember this message instead of the previous message. If you did want to, maybe you're worried about deleting an important message, you can save that using the labeling software, which is downloadable. There's a link to it on the RNIB websites, and the company that make it Mantralingo have made it clear within the packaging and within the box how you're able to access the labeling software. So to make it's still recording, isn't it? We better stop that. I could have gone on for an hour. That's one of the cool things about this. I could have literally spoke for an hour there for each message. So you could use it as a voice recorder as well. That could be another function of it in some ways. Each label an hour maximum. However, you couldn't do that for all of the 3,500 labels. It's got a maximum of 250 hours, which works out at 8 gigabytes. There is a little SD card within there, which allows you to have the 8 gigabytes. Now, what you could do is go out and buy another SD card with a 16 gigabyte limit, and that would give you 500 hours of recordings, which is quite useful. Potentially, you should be able to get most things on there. Other things that are interesting about this, we have a laundry set. There are now 5 different laundry set labels. The laundry labels are self-adhesive. You get 48 of these in the pack, and they're meant to be able to withstand up to 50 washes. I'm sure people could put that to the test by using different cycles, but up to 50 washes, self-adhesive. So that's over 250 you can get on the packs if you add them, or just under 240 to be precise, 240 different labels. So a lot of people like to say what the color of the item is that they're wearing, just to help them coordinate things. Some people have asked for more than that. Potentially they will be made in the future. We did just launch Laundry Pack 5. I have, what else did I put? Some of the uses or ideas that you may, this could be good for you, Hilary. What could I use this for? So depending on your vision, you might not be able to see things like sell-by dates. So you could obviously label food items, medicine packets, bottles, or perhaps obvious things to put them on. Paperwork, personal documents. You could combine that with the RNIB big print stationery or braille stationery, and it helps you organize your different personal documents, what they are, what's important. Sometimes you can't avoid being sent something in print, whether you can read it or not, so it's perhaps useful. You still need to keep it safe somewhere, so it's maybe useful to be sure what it is. If you've got any DVD collections, CDs, again, unless you're going to put it in, what is it? You don't really know. So having the label on there helps you. Clothes, if we talked about, if we've got any keen gardeners, things like seeds, simple things like that, just label up what the different things are. Spice rack, you've got any spice racks? They all look similar. It depends on your spice smell, I suppose. Some people could probably smell what they are. You could have a hands-off message. You could label the stuff in your own fridge. They are suitable to be used in a freezer. Cosmetics, perfume, shampoo. I remember an awful time once when I put some shampoo in my hair, which was actually not shampoo. It was some kind of bio oil that ruined, well, I said ruined my hair. I didn't have very good hair to begin with, but that was a terrible mistake, and I could see. So that certainly would have been useful to me to be sure what I'm putting on my hair. Like I said, make a portable note taker. The white labels, you could colour them in for contrast. That might be a good idea. You could put a black edge around the side of it just to help it show up easier. Something that will be launched very soon, not probably within the next 2 months, maybe the next 3, are tactile PenFriend labels. So they've basically got a jagged edge around the side so you can feel where they are. Some people with decreased sensitivity in the fingers may or may not be able to feel exactly where they are. Another thing, which I'll just disappear from the screen very, very briefly. You'll see why. You'll see why shortly. See that? The whole world is in my hands. This is the RNIB Tactile globe. It works with the PenFriend, exclusively with the PenFriend. It's got 120 hotspots within there. I have to just save the data on this one, so it's a different PenFriend I'm using.
Atlas Mountain.
And it will hover over
Sahara, Africa, Arabian Peninsula, Zagros Mountains.
So I think I mean, that's just a nifty, it's probably better for an educational setting, but I thought it was just a good example of what it could do. Those hotspots could be recorded. You could leave an hour message on each hotspot, and you could give a detailed description of the world around us. But that's just one use. You could use it in exhibiting things around the house. Museums could use it for exhibits. They could put a PenFriend out. They could hand one of these out to everyone as they go in. They could read out what all the exhibits are. Could be a good thing for organisations to do, certainly. But I'm conscious that I said I've only got the 25 past, and it's nearly 20 past now. So I thought I'd better stop talking and see if anybody had any questions, or if I could show them some of the other features. The only thing I haven't said, sorry, I've just consciously remembered, is the button, the mode option. Now, one question I had briefly was, what is the difference between PenFriend 2 and PenFriend version 3? Now, in absolute honesty, very little. There's very little difference between them. The PenFriend 3 was launched on the 10th anniversary, so it was almost like a celebration of the fact that it's been around. The additional feature on there was, however, the enhanced talking book mode. So when I talk about modes, it has 4 modes. With the description of what these modes are. So obviously the record mode, which when you go on, it has 1 beep. It has an audio book mode, which is the second one down, which is 2 beeps. Now that's linked to a Mantralingua product, so it's not really. It's got a selection of books which you can get access to, but it's not linked to the RNIB library, the RNIB talking books. The third option is MP3, so you can store songs and music on this, and you can use the volume button, which was the third one down, to scroll through the different tracks. The fourth option is the talking book mode. You can store up to one talking book on the stick and listen to it, and it remembers where you were when you start playing it. That is the additional feature, if you like, that makes it different to PenFriend version 2. But in all honesty, if I was going to recommend using our library service, which I really do, it's great, it's free, I would get a USB player or a Daisy player personally, because I think the sound quality is better and you'll enjoy it more. But it could be useful if you're out and about and you want to click your headphones in and listen to something. It could be an additional feature. But that really is the only difference between 2 and 3.